at their top level, because we could see Henny just take over the server and almost beat BESTIA single-handedly. So BESTIA, like I said, I don't think there's going to be any problem in the teamwork department. It's just about whether or not they can pitch up on an individual level.
And yeah, and of course, one thing to mention about BESTIA as well is they've not just obviously got the Americas RMR, they're also one of the teams that qualify for the Thunderpick World Championship, which obviously is a great test of them against sort of international opposition, right? Which is something that we don't really get to see from BESTIA in the scene at all in recent times. So that's going to be really exciting to see from them. But can they get this win today regionally against Red Canids? Pistol is underway in this best of 3 on Nuke. Tapping away outside.
Oh, I did the thing already. Okay, all right, well, get it out the way. Get it out the way already, as we do have a big pistol round underway. Julie's for Thomason draws some blood. But there's still players in towards this lower bomb site for BESTIA. They're actually looking to rotate away or reposition, and that's because Red Canids are potentially going to change things up here.
Oh, they're trying to go up the fence, and Noxy will catch Nython immediately, and now Naz is going to be in position to help out as well. They're not looking at this spot whatsoever, and he doesn't just take cold, he also forces Henny off that attempted plant, and now Davideus is forced up the vents, and he'll be removed as well. That is a very confident start on the CT pistol for BESTIA.
Some really nice shots being landed there by BESTIA, and you can't really fault the decision making there from Red Canids after they kind of make their way in towards Secret. They realize there's quite a lot of resistance on the B bomb site. They kill the vent player, so they think they could be able to pivot up the vent towards A. That one shot there from Nox there was beautiful, and it was enough to really just I don't know, force the defense to stutter, stumble, the attacking players to just pause a little bit, slowed things down, bought time for the rotation, the flank to come through from Naz as well. Just everything going according to plan for the CT side.
Nothing has made noise, but it won't matter. It is just the full eco, of course, in the round for Red Canids, apart from a couple of P250s. We have had a crazy a couple of days of play in South America, especially with that game yesterday. I had a chance to watch some of it. You covered it, of course. Some of the eco rounds that were won almost against with Payment and IBR. It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, there were eco rounds won as well. There was a round that Snowzen had a P250 on Vertigo, and he got 4 kills. No armor, just P250, and he got 4 headshots. So,
I was getting ready for bed yesterday and I had it on my phone, just listening to it, and I heard Scriv like go crazy, or because like something crazy happened. And I had to I literally moved myself away from my bed, went on my PC to scroll back in the VOD because I had to see what happened, and it was worth watching. That's for sure.
Yeah, no. Last night was actually a hell of an affair there between Pain and MIBR. Pain coming out on top. Yeah, MIBR's map pool's looking a bit rough at the moment. If they don't get Nuke and Agent in the particular series, then they do tend to struggle. Either way, shifting our focus back to the series. Important gun round here. Red Canids have got all the rifles in play, taking quite a lot of util damage there towards Squeaky Door, and they themselves are light on util as well, so don't have a huge amount of options available to them here in this first gun round.
Venom Zero tries to scarper up the ladder when he sees that nade coming his way, but he still takes a decent chunk to that second one, now down to 40. And yeah, about this this opening gun round for Red Canids, haven't really seen a soul. Already David was down thanks to that HE, another one doing a lot of damage. Nython's managed to respond for one, and they obviously do have some form of outside control, but now out of utility, but for one flash with a minute to go. That might be awkward.
Someone's going to have to make a play here to create some space. Nython's going to try and do exactly that, hitching on the wall right now. Eventually will make his way through the smoke, but Thomason waits patiently on the opposite side there. And that really does limit the options for Red Canids. I mean, they still have been able to get Henny down into Secret, but what can he do besides try and force rotations? And Cold Zero and Venom Zero, they're committed in towards lobby right now, so they eventually will have to try and go in towards the same bomb site. Henny's going to double back to try and join up with them and make life a little bit easier in getting on that bomb site, but 20 seconds left on the clock. Henny's still searching for the player outside. How on earth do Red Canids make this one work?
Oh, they're just not expecting still to be an MP9 in Hut. Zoc is just the insurance policy here as well. Cold tries to make his way onto the site to plant, but you won't be allowed that at all. A nice little burst jiggle there from Thomason to make sure Henny, 1, does go down, and 2, even if he did die there, Thomason, he wouldn't have had time to pick up the bomb and plant it. So, another good round from Bestia, starting on CT side. Could be definitely something that helps them.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that was not an inspiring round at all from Red Canids, just in terms of how they go through the motions, just get picked apart as the round goes on. Never really any clear direction. Never really any convincing gunfights either, just taking a lot of util damage, what felt like unnecessarily at the start of the round, get chipped down, then kind of just poke and prod, but no major conviction, and yeah, that round fell flat on its face quite easily. Bestia going to be pretty comfortable with the start that they've been able to piece together here. They should be able to extend it to 4-0.
Very clean indeed. Zoc, he'll know what his job is here. Try and get one and fall away. But this time he might have to fight because he's been dinked immediately. Not even allowed to fall away. And it's the flying Tech 9 of Venom Zera to take him down. Noxie's quick on that rotation. He's got support. Molly actually can be really awkward. Might force him into the open. Cold, of course, has that Mac 10 to put to work, but the bomb is being planted in the open, and the door could just be swung open and deny it. Henny is now stuck on the rafters with the P250. They've isolated him. Although Red Canids do damage again to put Bestia down to 2 players alive, the round win is what matters, and Bestia do find it.
Really solid work actually coming through there from Bestia to recover the round. It was looking quite dicey at one point. The T's just moving with pace through ramp into that B-bomb site. I like how Thomason just pushes all the way to the opposite side of the doors there. Just really limits the angles he exposes himself to when he opens up the doors and just isolates the bomb planter. 4-0. And although this is a tech pause, it's not going to be a bad opportunity here for Red Canids to just discuss what they're going to look to try and do in this next round. They're going to have all the util in the world. Henny will have his AWP as well, and this is where we're really going to see what Red Canids are about on this T side.
They've spawned 2 more Davideuses. Isn't that terrifying?
That is a very scary prospect for Bestia. That's not allowed.
Imagine if they could clone. Imagine, like, did you see that YouTube video that someone made of someone creating a fully sized robot that could play aimbots to like perfect effect? It's actually crazy. It's actually crazy. Imagine if you could clone an AI to play the game, which someone just has from that video that I just described, and then learn a play style from a professional. Wouldn't that be wild?
I feel like you've just described Zai Wu. He is a he is a project, man. He is yeah, some sort of an experiment.
Yeah, it was that video went viral on the Reddit.
That is
I think.
Interesting though.
But
yeah.
literally,
I was going to ask you,
full-size robot that could click and move and yeah, crazy.
It's crazy. We're seeing some mad things coming out of SpaceX and Tesla and
AI in general.
All of Elon
it's
Musk's
scary,
companies.
honestly. But...
What I did want to ask you though, and you can sit with this one, is how many Davideuses will be too many Davideuses? Is there a number? Either way, it is going to be Bestia, who I love this change of pace coming through from them on the CT side, just after we've had a bit of a pause as well. They recognize how vital this gun round is for Red Canids as well, and so they look to disrupt the T side. They make a play, they get in their face, and they find an opening kill.
Completely agree with you. I do think on a normal day, 2 Davideuses would probably be a bit too much, because usually he's the main man for Red Canids, or one of the main men to do the work. Unfortunately, he has had a slow start today. And Noxie has put himself in a really good position here, taking control of Trophy, pushing through ramp, and now has control of lobby. Nemzero knows it could be a possibility. They're waiting to swing it, and actually, Noxie, don't actually know how that misses. Whizzes through the legs, perhaps, there, of Henny.
What do Red Canids actually look to do here to get themselves back in the round? Nathan is working outside right now, but not really being offered much up. And I like this from Bestia as well. They know they've got the man advantage. They don't actually have to commit to any plays here. As I say that though, Nox is on searching with the AWP. Quite a lot of damage has been done through the smoke onto Henny as well. Where's the bomb carrier? Henny's actually the one with the C4 right now, and he's been dropped. So even though they've been able to get players in towards this B bomb site, the bomb is still in squeaky. Oh man, 12 seconds on the clock. This is actually impossible for Red Canids. coldzera has no option but to just save his gun at this point. And he will look to make it happen. At least he's able to recover the AWP, but this is going to be BESTIA going up 5-0.
Cole will only just managed to stay alive as well, and if he went down there, he would have had no gun and $450. So this has been a very slow start. And I do feel like Red Canids are guilty of this sometimes, especially when starting on the T side. They can be prone to these slow getaways in important matches. And showing it again here, unfortunately for them. Right time for a tactical timeout. We had a little bit of a tech pause due to some loss. But unfortunately, the loss is continuing directly after that.
Yeah, they haven't been able to resolve the loss just yet, evidently. 5-0. Last time these two teams played against each other on Nuke, it was a 10-2 halftime scoreline, and Red Canids on that occasion also started on the T side. So a stark contrast here. A great turnaround from BESTIA in a pretty short turnaround time. 2 days ago they played against each other. Oh, I lied, 3 days ago. Still though.
Technically, it's 2 for me and 3 for you.
That is true, actually. A 1 hour difference.
The 1 hour difference makes the whole day. Yep. I mean, the clocks do go back though here soon. It might be Sunday actually.
Then we'll have a 2 hour.
Yeah, they go back 1 hour, I believe.
Yeah.
Classic UK time changes that mess you up for all of 24 hours. Yeah. Right. We've had too many savings, I think, in this game thus far. The Red Canids need to put their best foot forward, and thankfully, for the first time in this game, it actually feels like they've got an opening kill, and it's thanks to that Henny AWP. And of course, that was really important as well, because if he went down, they would have lost all but one of those grenades.
Alright, well, they get the kill and they keep the utility in play, and that util's now being dumped towards outside. Nox is here with the AWP. He's going to be able to get a kill that could actually take some tension away from Zoc, who will step out and find a frag of his own, gets a man advantage for the CT side. Thomason gets in on the act as well. And the reason why he actually keeps forcing the issue is because he's got another teammate there in tow.
Wow.
Zoc continues to take these fights outside. Elevated angle will work well for him. And it's just Devadus left remaining. This is impossible. The bomb's outside. He's got a Galil, no util. BESTIA, this is looking very convincing.
That was proactive, wasn't it? That was very assertive. When they realised they had 2 players in position towards Secret, you take the opportunity to go for sort of a bait in every single day of the week, and it works beautifully. Devadus is in a good position, but it is being checked back and forth, and obviously he wasn't going to win the round with 17 seconds on the clock, so Naz checks it at the right time. It's a 7-1 start for Naz and a 6-0 start for BESTIA. This is looking brilliant thus far.
It is looking fantastic. When do we start to sound the alarm bells here for the T side? Because things are starting to get out of control. No bomb plants in that round means this is going to have to be an eco. They're looking pretty placid, honestly.
Placid is a good word.
Not seeing much fire here from Red Canids. Just a quite docile approach on their T side so far. Here we go. A little bit more fire coming into this round as they charge their way towards the A bomb side, but BESTIA have read right into this. They've got 4 players watching over A right now, and they're all just getting in on the act. 5. The entire team, Travis.
The entire team rotated in so quickly. That was wild. And also sort of wild in not just that it's rare to see that, just have like 2 on the rafters and 3 on the side. Almost never happens. But they also hadn't seen the bomb yet, if I'm not entirely mistaken, because Henny was still in lobby with it. So that was a very, very fast rotation. I'm not sure if Red Canids, catch wind of that and realise how quick that rotation is. Maybe that'll give them an idea for a strat later on in the half, because they need ideas at this point.
Yeah, it's true. Rounds have been clearly impossible to come by up until now. The problem is with MR12, there's just less time to adapt and adjust to exactly what you've just mentioned. Remember, in MR15, there'd still be 8 rounds left in the half here for Red Canids to kind of figure out that adaptation and then really get to milk it. Either way, rounds now few and far between. They're dwindling. Zoc has to commit to this gunfight here. It's far from ideal. The fact that he gets a kill before he goes down is actually a pretty good return.
Yeah, and again, Bestia changing it up, right? Going for aggression with the AWP toward Trophy, but with a rifler in support this time. And it works out for that 2-for-1 they wanted. If Thomason comes up the vents, he might get caught by two players watching it. Kind of just staying in there for now. Once that weak smoke comes in toward door, he doesn't need to budge. He can make a pounce at a weird timing. And you know what? He doesn't get the kill, but he helps Luchov get his. And even though Henny will get that kill on Luchov, and Naz kind of dropped to his death there to get the kill. He's going to get caught from heaven, is Henny. So nothing is going right. Kind of crazy. Even in that round where they maybe had a chance to get one back and get into an afterplant in a 2v2, that kill comes in from top hut and it's done from there.
Yeah, Nocta does really well in this round, gets the opening kill and then finishes off the round as well. Wasn't too clean. Bestia was, you know, quite messy, the player coming up the ladder and then Luchov dropping off the rafters. There were a few moments where I thought that Red Canids could capitalize and get themselves into the round, but Nocta denies them. 8-1, Naz is 9-1. Remember, he's not like a crazy star AWPer. He's the AWP IGL of this team. He's normally just like reliable, stable AWPer, posted up on angles. He's taking some initiative. He does actually look to be adding some more depth to his game as an AWPer, you know, forcing opening fights a bit more. He seems to be a bit braver over the past like 6 to 9 months, and I actually genuinely think that's coincided with the improvement of form we've seen from Bestia. You know, with them qualifying for LAN events, qualifying for the RMR as well, the Thunderpick World Championship coming up soon. I think that Nocta has stepped up his game as an AWPer, and it's great to see.
Yeah, it's what's great about it is that he's, I wouldn't say, I think reinvented maybe is a strong word, but he's sort of refreshed his form at a very late stage of his career as well, which is always cool to see. And, you know, who knows, maybe Bestia could be one of those teams that make it through the RMR. There are plenty of slots in that America's RMR these days to make it through. We shall see. Be a great underdog pick, actually. David will manage to deal with him in this round, but I doubt they're going to find their first. This is definitely, I said earlier it was getting out of hand. It is now officially out of the hands of Red Canids.
It's running away, Trav.
Like.
It's out of the hands. It's now running away from them. They're going to have to start chasing it at this point.
Over the hills and far away, like a Teletubby.
Yeah, exactly. Or a Led Zeppelin song, right? Over the hills, far, far away. I think it is Thomason dropping down on, or David dropping on Thomas's head.
That was funny.
Oh man, yeah, this is not going according to plan. I wonder if there's an element of complacency here for Red Canids coming into the series against Bestia after how they've dominated Bestia in most of the series they've played against them. They've won every single series. Of course, they've lost best of ones, but best of ones are not series, just by definition. So I wonder if Red Canids are like, yeah, you know, we're playing against Bestia. We beat this team 13-4 on Nuke 3 days ago. This is going to be easy, and it's been anything but that up until now. Of course, I am assuming, but we're prone to doing that with our job.
Indeed. I mean, that Nuke, that 13-4, I mean, Cold went 20-7, Venom Zero and Nithon had 32 kills between them. Like, it's just a world of difference. And often that can be the case. I mention it very often when we have a game where, you know, teams have played each other. Luchov, that's just brilliant. This is a buy round, by the way. That was so calm. You know, I mentioned when a team loses, right? Especially if they lose significantly and they know they could very often, very likely have a matchup against the same team in a few days' time, they will put a lot of effort in to learn what went wrong. And I feel like that's exactly what Bestia have done. They've really clocked on to what's up right now. And again, I mean, I'm talking over the play-by-play a bit of this round because there's just nothing really to speak of for Red Canids. If truth be told, they're getting caught at every single angle. Luchov got those two outside, and once he did, it was pretty much over.
Yeah, just getting picked off one by one right now, and making it look way too easy for Bestia. Red Canids try and turn up the pace a little bit more in this round because they've been playing fairly, I'd say, just slow toward outside in general. This time they throw the wall of smoke to try across at the start of the round, but Thomason catches them. 10-0. What a dominant display coming through from Bestia up until now. You can just read the numbers. They're easy to add up because there aren't many of them. 5, 10, 15, 18 kills across the entirety of Red Canids right now. 18. That's less than 2 frags per round right now.
That is a huge problem.
Yes.
And I think Red Canids, sure, you know, people will look at it and be kind of shocked and saying, guys, this is your map pick. You're losing 10-0. One of those classic things where people will screenshot it and post it on social media when a team picks a map and then loses it 13-0 or something ridiculous. But it's not exactly a bad map for BESTIA overall. It's one they can play. And the fact they've started CT and Red Canids have started T, I'm not going to pretend that that's the main reason, because a professional team should be ready and should be getting probably 5 rounds on T side these days on Nuke. But they have been absolutely nowhere. Canids has not been good. And now, with the Galils here, they haven't got much utility anymore either. They've used all their smokes. They've only got flashes and 1 Molotov left. And Thomason is about to be tested again.
This is the best position, unequivocally, that Red Canids have been in throughout the map so far. And it's going to be Thomason out in the open. Oh my god, how does he get both those kills? A third as well. He's just mowing them down. Lines them up, knocks them down like they're 10-pin bowling. And, well, eventually a kill will come through in the round, but it's just a consolation prize.
That was ridiculous. Like, when you get 2 kills like that, we're going to see the spray down, I'm sure, in a second. I hope we do get a replay. Remember, so fast when we don't have it. No, we do have it. Thank you, production. Goats, as always. That double spray down was beautiful. But the third, look at that fast, close reaction for the third. So often you can just feel a little bit lazier when you go for the third because you've got your 2 and you're really happy about it, and you maybe lose a bit of concentration. That third could not have been faster or more accurate. Bomb was dropped in the open, no way in. We are looking at the possibility of a clean sweep half, and that is not something we see too often.
Especially not when it's the underdogs. And against a team like Red Canids. What is going on right now? This was not the script I received earlier on today. Red Canids, they're going to roll up their sleeves and just go back to the good old faithful. All the util here and a massive execute into the safe bomb site lined up. There's only 1 player on A right now, by the way. Okay, I lie. There's 2. Naz and Thomason, but it's a fake. It's misdirection. They pull all the attention away. Maybe kind of hearing what you were mentioning earlier on about some of these over-rotations, but these multi-kills continue to come through from BESTIA.
Oh, Luchov once again doubles down. That should be, you'd think, relatively safe, but it's the first time that BESTIA really had to put some in on a retake here. I might be going crazy. Is that their first plant in the entire half?
I think so, Trav.
That is absolutely wild. We've got the last one of the half coming in, and this is their first plant. It's a 2v3. Nighton is stuck with the max 10. If he gets 1, it's good, but he needs 2. And a missed shot from Noxy might give them a chance, because Cold's found his kill. It's now all down to Noxy, and Cold has the best angle possible. And Red Canids will, well, it's still a relatively embarrassing half, but they will get 1. We'll see you in a minute.
I don't think it's fair to say Red Canids have saved face by winning that last round of the first half, but at least they avoid the wrath of the 12-0. My god, we started this map about 25 minutes ago, and BESTIA are already on the brink. Wow.
Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the only saving grace for Red Canids really is that BESTIA's map pick of Anubis coming up next is obviously one that Red Canids are also good on, so they're definitely not out of the series without a doubt, but they'll be shocked slightly. I'll be looking for an instant bounce back, that's for sure. We're assuming no ridiculous comeback is going to come into play, but we are going to be down towards Secret already here for BESTIA. VenomZero has already got one. Davidae's playing with the angle, needs at least maybe a double kill from that position, but he gets run down in the end because I said he needed a double kill because Cole is 1 HP from getting gooshed earlier on. They're going up the vents to A as well.
Very similar to the first half pistol.
This call's going to be spot on, and you're also spot on.
Aw, love you. 4 versus 4 here. Gonna have to be such an important retake. No kit. And a couple players are fairly low. Nocta has the Julies that have been recovered from David's body. And that's going to make this retake a whole lot more challenging for Red Canids. It's going to be all 4 players coming through from lobby as well. And it seems like BESTIA have a pretty good idea that this is what's happening. In fact, it's going to be all of them through Squeaky Door right now. Starting to just funnel their way through. Nocta on the angle in conjunction with Thomason have set up a really strong crossfire. So difficult for Red Canids to try and break through this one. But they will. Only just. I think the defuse will come through in time here. Yes, it absolutely will. Okay, Red Canids, they double up their round count.
coldzera just got 3 kills on 1 HP, by the way.
My goat.
Well, he's one of the goats of Counter-Strike, that's for sure. Popping up when he's needed. That was huge. And, yeah, that kill, that first kill he got, came through so fast as that utility was being thrown. I thought for sure it was a flash hitting the body of his enemy and getting the kill. As it was a 1 HP, but obviously I was looking at it wrong because it was Cold who was 1 HP. He was the one fighting. It looked funny just the way it happened on a ridiculous timing like that. But yeah, he gets that first and then gets 2 more on 1 point of health. Can you believe it?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's unlikely that we're going to maybe see Red Canids win this game, but if they're going to start it, well, that is the way to go.
It's even just about saving face and improving the optics of the map at large, just improving the confidence of the team across the board going into that next map as well. Either way, we're going to have to weather the storm against the Force Buy. Look at coldzera so deep in towards CT right now, holding a very passive angle, but his position's now been made known, so Bluchov can maybe try and force this fight here with him already being in garage. Plenty time here in the round as well. BESTIA spotting out a couple players so they can start to kind of piece the puzzle together as to how the defense is set up.
In a world in which this could work out, they've spotted Cold now toward red box in spawn, and of course Bluchov is in a decent position and he'll catch the M4. One of the main guns has been dropped and a little cheeky headshot angle against VenomZero. That's why he's warded away from it. Doesn't want to take the gamble. In the end, he finally goes back in when he feels like he's more confident and has a better timing and gets that kill. Davidaeus will find Zot in the end. Gillil in play for Naz, though, and he gets that one too. It's going to have to be VenomZero, but he needs a reload. He's got 3 bullets left. That gives time for Henny to work his way up the vents, though, and that should mean he gets a double kill. He absolutely does. And Red Canids have some handle in the game now. It'll be an eco for BESTIA.
Really good timing from Henny there, going up the ladder into the A-bomb site, recognizing that he kind of had to make a play there. His teammate's position in heaven was made known, and so he knew with the bomb plant coming through that the other player on the A-bomb site would have had to have been watching heaven. So I like that Henny does kind of just take that initiative. And he makes it look easy. 11-3. Red Canids is clawing their way back right now. Such a long way back. But finally, Trav, they'll have a bit of a reprieve, an opportunity to just catch their breath as they play against pistols.
And it's something that I mentioned to you, have mentioned to you in the past quite a lot, right? When we've had games that have been runaway scorelines, especially when it's the first map of a series, just getting warmed up into it for Red Canids after feeling like you've just been completely blown out of the water is important for them. Just to get some rounds on the board, get some play time. I'm going to use a really weird analogy here, which you know me for. It's like in snooker, when obviously if you're not at the table, you're not playing. It's not like it's a one person at the table sport, right? Where you can't have a say if you're in your seat. And sometimes players get out of their seat even when the frame's over and there isn't enough points left on the table to win, right? They just get some table time, get some practice. Feels like right now, Red Canids are getting their table time.
I actually really like that analogy. I think it's an important parallel that you could draw here for Red Canids, just to, you know, get the reps in, go through the motions, and even just kind of, you know, get really tested, get pushed the distance, and kind of see, have their mettle tested, their resolve, see if they're able to, you know, keep it together, keep their composure when situations break apart like this and they're right up against the wall.
Yeah, for sure. If there's anyone in chat who appreciated that snooker reference, hit me up. If you didn't,
At TravCS.
Keep it to yourself.
At TravCS, known for his snooker, F1, occasional tennis, sometimes some golf as well.
Occasionally, rare, but occasionally.
Very rare.
Yeah, if you wanna drop me a line, feel free. If you wanna say something mean, also feel free, because then I can just block you. So all good.
As long as you just gotta follow us first if you're gonna say something mean. Like that's only fair, right?
True.
At Hayes Castings.
Someone the other day,
you can have at it.
Someone the other day in my replies of like a tweet that did really well and was like very popular, replied just saying, "Trav, you're so boring" or whatever, and I checked and he followed me. So, what can you say about that? Anyway.
Well, yeah, that just the maths checks out evidently. First gun round upon us here, mate. First opportunity for BESTIA to really seal the deal here on Nuke. But Red Canids, they've got some momentum behind them. However, talking about momentum, BESTIA have just broken down the defense on the save bomb side.
Next step for BESTIA to get this one over the line. Look at the amount of utility toward heaven. Molly work.
How's he not burning?
Yeah, just being on the ladder. Molly will actually not land, but being on the ladder means you will avoid that if your feet aren't actually on the ground. Which is sometimes handy for these sort of retakes. They're going to have to make this one work. There is some low HPs here on BESTIA, of course, on Naz in particular. And there we go. It's working out in their favour now, Red Canids. Venom Zero is actually going to get 3. Naz hears the mini player and looks away. It's all down to Thomason, and he knows the bomb is being stuck, and he might think that, is it worth it? Give it a go on one, then hop away. That is a really big retake for Red Canids.
The Miss Molly. The Miss Molly actually is pretty costly there because it allows for Venom Zero to force that retake. He does phenomenally well coming through from heaven, getting those 3 kills, and he really throws himself into the bomb site, drops down out of heaven, back silo, gets the first kill instantly, finds a second straight afterwards, and he finishes off the job. That's just a huge shift coming through from Venom Zero in that round. 13 for 12 right now, leading the charge for Red Canids, and I mean, I think that retake will actually buoy them, you know, I think that'll give them a good boost of confidence. BESTIA, they're going to just try and run it back.
Why not? They got so close before, they'll say if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but just fix the afterplan. And I don't understand how Luchov has got that kill, and I don't understand how Naz has got the timing on Henny outside. They've got another 5v3 to work with, but Cold will obviously have a response, and Venom Zero is doing it again. Oh, he's got 2. Getting 2 there is huge, but now it's only Cold alive, and he hasn't completed that kill on Luchov. That could be a massive turnaround in the round, because if he gets that kill, it's a 1v1, and he's got so, I guess you could say, so many opportunities to work with, knowing that he doesn't have to worry about Luchov's position anymore, and only Noxy, the IGL, to find. But as it is now, it's a long rotation. He's obviously going to have to go for it. They've got money, and it would be giving up map point for BESTIA. He's got a kit, he's got a smoke.
I don't think he has the luxury of just shift walking the entire way through. I think he's missed the trick. I think he had to just kind of gamble and run. I mean, he will get that first frag on Luchov. He has got a smoke and a kit. The only hope here is to just stick the defuse in the smoke, and the smoke's actually missed.
Oh, no.
Okay, well, that is going to be BESTIA up to 12. I love how brazen they are with that round, Trav, because I thought they might start to get a little bit antsy after losing that previous post plant, but they just forced their way into the A bomb site immediately afterwards. At least Luchov does. How does he stay alive for so long, just weaving his way around the smokes? There were 2 players searching for him. He gets a kill, and then he gets out of dodge as well. That was incredible from Luchov.
Yeah, I don't really get that. It was impressive. He managed to path his way to success there. BESTIA will hit 12. Yeah, as you say, I think Cold maybe tries to play a few more mind games if that smoke actually hits as well. Maybe he fakes it and then tries to take the ball or not. See. But here we go. Flashes in towards the site, and once again, it's Thomason. I mean, if I was going to pick a BESTIA player as our player to watch, I would have definitely picked him. Obviously, we picked Amadeus. I'm not going to try and say, we were right in any way. But Thomason is often the main man for this Bestia team, and he's 22 and 10 for them right now, looking to lead the charge to this map of Nuke.
Yeah, he's been incredible. So ridiculously good for Bestia throughout the map. Red Canids looking to set themselves up here for the retake, and it's just not looking doable. Thomason's been able to get a third frag in the round. Coldzera left alone. They know exactly where he is, and unfortunately, he will fall short. Bestia, what a display.
Absolutely brilliant from Bestia. That might be one of the best games I've ever seen them play. Especially in recent times. Don't forget, when these two teams last played, Red Canids got a 13-4 on this map, and it's basically a complete turnaround. Bestia have learned what went wrong previously in winning the rounds because Red Canids were slow. They continued to reinvent. They had that round where they had 2 in secret, and you had an instant trade, which kind of secured the round. Luchov got 2 outside on one of those outside plays. Thomason had that brilliant, and that one round that looked like it was going to be an issue. Thomason had that brilliant 3k hold towards secret as well from single door. So, yeah, I mean, every single thing they put into place, whether it was aggression, whether it was anchor position, seemed to work. Now, Red Canids, they need to find some of that spark back again. They start CT on Anubis. Bestia have got their utility, 3 flashes, a smoke and a molly, and that P250 on Luchov.
Interesting that Red Canids have decided to start on the CT side here, considering they had the choice coming into it. And they're going to send 3 players into A main, and all 3 of them have died without getting a single kill between them. How on earth has that happened?
I don't even dislike that call. I mean, Davides has been mollied off. I'll just catch this for a second, because just seeing if he maybe wants to go aggressive after the molly. The flash is really good. Oh, the flash is amazing.
Oh, man.
And Zoc even peeks for it too. So, yeah, this one's done. So, I don't even dislike that play by Red Canids. It's quite a common one to go aggressive on the CT pistol around A main, because it's one of the most sort of comfortable positions on the map you can go to put some aggression into place. And Cole already got that opening kill on Luchov. Luchov had that P250 in the Kevlar, and he had those 3 pieces of utility, which obviously got lost after Cole tapped him out of the round. And incredibly, now Cole's the only one left from that beginning, which you just wouldn't think would have come through after they sort of pinched him in that position toward Canal.
It's quite remarkable. I mean, the timings nearly work out very much against Bestia after Cold gets that frag, because the players who were canals for Bestia start to kind of turn their attention. But I think Zoc just caught a glimpse, or Naz just caught a glimpse of the player A main, and then called it through to their teammates. They all fight together and just all dominate those gunfights as well. So Bestia put their best foot forward here to open up. And I actually just want to tag on that point that you were making about how Bestia didn't get complacent at all and didn't start to slip up and get a little bit looser after they went up 6-0. They kept their discipline throughout. And I feel like that's something that you get from these national teams who generally are not underrepresented, but just don't really tend to get the same opportunities as teams from bigger and more established regions. These guys have had to grind so ridiculously hard, not just to even get to this level of the competition, but even to make a name for themselves and get to compete, right? And grind their way through Argentina and then start to compete with some of the lower Brazilian teams, and then from there, South America at large. These guys have worked so hard to get here. They're not going to just start to chill after they go 6-0 up, you know. They're grinders. They're very disciplined. They're the team who have worked incredibly hard to get to this point, and I think that is something, like I said, you get from these like national teams who don't get the same opportunities, right? They never just take it chill.
And obviously for a team like Bestia, coming from Argentina, there might not necessarily be many choices in terms of who they want to choose to make roster changes. The pool maybe isn't as big as it would be for some other regions. But one thing, of course, I've got to give them a lot of credit for is that a move that maybe you would look at from the outside, if you're a Noah from kind of the days gone by, as a questionable one, minus Mayan plus Zoc.
Yes, yeah.
We'd probably look at that and say, why would that work?
Best player from Argentina, yeah.
Yeah, like Mayan has been obviously known as the best player from Argentina for a very, very long time. Obviously, we had a still on MRBR where he was quite highly rated, and he's really fallen off since then, sadly.
Yeah.
But Zoc as a replacement, he wasn't really one of the players setting the world alight on dusty routes, right, either. But
sure,
he's turned out, obviously, to be a really good player in his role that Bestia needed. to revamp and improve. So, yeah, it's only been success since, and internationally, yet to be seen if they can continue to make a mark.
Got to give credit to the scout then, whoever decided to bring Zoc into the mix, because it's absolutely been a stroke of brilliance either way. First gun round now upon us. Red Canids have the rifles across the board. And the AWP in play for Nocta as well. And he's just spamming the smoke there to try and fake as though they don't have any informational control in E-Box, while Naz has been able to just kind of slot in there with the MAC-10, but it's all just kind of a ruse. They're not going to burst in towards the same bomb site. Knife's just jiggling, forced back by the util. Davidus is going to get ahead of the Molly and cameras, so at least he can join up with Nathan. Noxa finally gets a frag back, but doesn't expect Davidus in the exact same position, and Naz with the MAC-10 hasn't got a hope in hell. So Red Canids, they get on the board as early as the first gun round.
That did not, when BESTIA had 3 players pushing up into the site, looked like it would be a round where Red Canids would survive with 4 players alive. That's
I didn't think so either.
That's a really good recovery, and I think 1 kill that will go as an underrated one in that round is Nithon's second. Just jiggling around that broken wall area, managing to get 2 when it looked like even 1 would be hard when he was kind of caught off on timing was, yeah, pretty nice. Pretty nice. And, as I said, to survive with 4, first gun round CT Anubis. Critical.
Yeah, perfect way for them to open up, and if they can win this next round here, then they really do cement themselves with a comfortable, strong start to the map. I don't think there was anything wrong with the strat there from BESTIA at all. I think it was just more an issue of the execution of the strats itself. Shots not being landed proved to be costly. And Red Canids are very well poised to deal with what's coming their way. 3 players just hard focused on this B-bomb site right now. As BESTIA starts to surround that side of the map.
Hang on. Hang on. Luchov and Thomason have got 2. Henny's doing a good job, though. Honestly, that was not easy position to get to there himself. But AWP's been picked up. Oh, that was dangerous for a second. Luchov was scoping in on David. Now it is all Zoc with that picked up AWP. Has to go for a ridiculous no-scope, though. And David will take him down as well. That's more of the Davideus we know and love. Let's see if Red Canids can now build on this. That was the BESTIA force buy, as you say, with some lesser weaponry in play. Now they'll be on an eco, and Red Canids should edge into the lead.
He really saves the day in the round there for Red Canids with his triple. I mean, the opening frag was pretty elementary from him, but the 2 kills he gets thereafter are so important to keep Red Canids in the round. Dancing around the bomb site. I feel like the player who comes through B main there is a bit reluctant. He was hesitant to wrap around the bomb site, and that's what gives Henny the time to just resettle and get the pick on the player behind Pillar. Missed opportunity. Well, they're going to be able to get themselves in the lead here for the first time this match.
This should be a freebie. And a bit of relaxation, in a way, for Red Canids, knowing that they're in the game early. Can't afford to rest on those laurels, though, obviously. Of course, winner of this game plays MIBR in that lower bracket final tomorrow night. Hold on a second. Shots are being missed here. Okay, we should still be fine. Naz is 2 HP. We did get the opening, but now all healthy. Red Canids, there should be no risk. So yeah, I think if we do get MIBR versus either one of these 2 teams, I would still favour MIBR, I feel like, against either one of these 2 in the current stage.
Oh, yeah.
But
I mean, the only... Yeah, go ahead.
No, you feel free.
I was just going to say, the problem with MIBR is that Lukazi just hasn't been bedded into the roster yet. They're looking really rough with him.
Yeah.
Trying to find a way to get him comfortable and feel like he can perform at the level we know he's capable of. So MIBR are definitely fallible at the moment, but I will still pick them over either of these 2 teams.
That's fair. At least a noteworthy point there is that was a Davideus ace. It was 5 kills against Glocks.
Sick.
But you know what?
He's pitching up.
He's pitching up. He's got the kills. It makes him feel more confident at 9-2, even though all those 5 weren't exactly impactful. Someone's got to get him. Someone's got to get him.
I feel like he could do with a boost of confidence as well, just with the way that the action unfolded on Nuke. Davidus having a far better time of it here on Anubis up until now. as Red Canids have got their noses in front, and Nox's got a scout coming into this round. How has that happened? Because did he have like a hero gun in the previous round I didn't notice? With the 3 counts of round loss bonus, he should have had an AK and armor. Anyway, passive default from the T side as they look to try and get some control in the round.
Deeper E-box molly there to force someone out on the angle. Could be the AWPer of Henny, of course. Oh, hang on.
Hello, love.
How have you got there, then?
You see the confidence? You see now him making those sorts of plays? It's looking a whole lot better from David. Knight has been forced back on a bomb site, and unfortunately, he does just try and take some initiative, but that's going to cost him his life. And BESTIA have got full control of the site this time around as the bomb plant comes through.
Yeah, Nighthorn can't repeat those heroics that he made happen in that same position a few rounds prior. Henny, that's huge, though. What a brilliant clear on Thomasin that was. Remember how amazing Thomasin was on map 1. It's now all down to Noxy with a scout, and this would be something. Thing is, I don't think even Henny and Venoms are necessarily one scoutable. Maybe to the stomach, not to the chest. Let's see. There's the first. Maybe it was a stomach shot, but unfortunately, there are kits in play, and Cold was always going to get the trade on the reface from Noxy. So good recovery. Once again, good impact from Henny there. That was assertive refacing toward the broken wall position. And Zok will be maybe kicking himself slightly. That maybe he should be more aware of a unlikely yet distinct possibility that someone could be through mid.
I just think that BESTIA overplay their hand in that post plant, all honesty, especially after Luchov gets the kill on David coming through from A main, because at that point you probably know that you're safe in A main. You've got a post plant position to work with in the round. They try fight forward. I think it was a little bit overzealous from them, and they're going to try and bring some pace into this next round as well, just charging straight in towards the B bomb side. Util raining on in, and frags raining on in as well. A hail of bullets from Venom Zero will get 3 kills.
Comfort. Kenny will manage to get one more, and then Naz, of course, even though he gets one, it's okay to get 2 kills in a round like that. But Red Canids are looking a lot more solid now, and good to see as well. This was great from Venom Zera. He's been really solid, and I gotta say, those M4A4 sprays, those actually aren't that easy to look that clean. He had to readjust for the last, did the right thing by not committing to a full spray, just stops and goes again. And that's what 30 bullets can get you.
Yes, sir. Certainly does make good of that extended magazine. And now we start to get a little bit concerned for BESTIA. They won the pistol, they converted. Ever since then, though, rounds have been hard to come by. Monster has his AWP. Wouldn't that be the difference maker? Tried a few different approaches in these rounds as well, have BESTIA, and haven't really found much success, so have to go back to something that hasn't really worked. And David, I didn't even realize we were on a CT's perspective. Wake up, Hayes. David Deuce, he's even caught me off guard. Thomasin will step out, though, and find 2 kills in response.
That's funny. Could this be a breakthrough for BESTIA, though? Thomasin and have a big multi-kill in this game from him. Naz has got E-box control, and BESTIA just waiting across the map right now because they know that Red Canids are in a position where they might go looking for one more kill to get some intel when they're a pick down. But I actually quite like what they're doing here. There's a smoke in play. They're going for a boost back plat on B. Thing is, though, oh, okay, so they now know 1 player's in that position, but they might not know, of course, of 2 still. I just think the player's jumped there. Cold's been taken out, but do they expect Venom Zera? Okay, he's made noise with the nade. I question whether that was needed. Maybe maybe after they made noise, they thought, oh, well, the jig's up.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I think they didn't actually know Venom Zera was there, and who knows what could have happened.
It didn't seem like they were, like, set on another player being there. They probably thought it was just like a scroll wheel mouse jump or something like that. But yeah, Venom Zero feels like he's been found out. That's going to be BESTIA winning a key round back here. They've lost 5 in a row, but good to see that they've still got some confidence in terms of how they go about that round, taking the fights that they do. Bit of an unconventional approach. Everybody coming through E-box into that B-bomb site, but it works out perfectly for them. Henny will have to fight to stay alive now. Money is no problem here for the CT side. He will still have an AWP in the next round even if he dies, but that doesn't mean He'll be giving his life up, and this is really smart from Henny as he rounds the corner and gets out of dodge. The Bestia win the round, as was required.
Where did the saying "get out of dodge" come from? Because like,
dodgeball maybe.
Dodgeball makes the most sense, but like, if you get out of dodge, surely you want to like be in the dodge because then you're dodging. You're not.
It's like a double negative in a way.
You're not dodging. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Dodgeball makes sense though. I did think of that. So.
Oh, it originated from Dodge City in 1870. Get out of Dodge. It must have been a pretty crap city if an entire saying came out about wanting to get out of Dodge. So there we go.
Well,
it is 150 years old, that saying, which is quite crazy.
That is crazy. And you do learn something new every day. The classic.
Yes, sir.
I didn't know that. It's a saying you've said, and I've said quite a lot. So, there you go. Today I learned, will Venom Zera learn anything here? He's about to get caught two separate angles. A re-smoke through E-box, fall back toward Plat, but he does get caught by Zot.
Man.
He was already out, and they didn't know that. Cold now has to deliver, but it's only a 1-for-1, and I probably wouldn't expect more than that in that position, to be honest. Bestia have a 4v3.
I think that Venom Zero is probably going to feel a little bit hard done by Cold there, because you could see he wasn't at all expecting to take a fight from B main that early on in the round. And because there's nothing caught after the smoke is cleared out by the nade, I think that Red Canids will probably just pull the plug on the retake and carry these weapons over, recognizing they don't have much money. So Bestia breathes some life back into their campaign here. I've kind of just been quietly sitting here wondering what Bestia are going to be like when they're behind the pace of the game, when the pressure is on them. Because we saw on Nuke, obviously, they were in complete control throughout the whole map, and it looked great. But what does it look like when they're under the pump? And I'm actually, very impressed by how they have constructed these past two rounds. Hammering home on that B bomb site. They're going to make it 5-4 and start to improve the optics of this map.
When your optics improve, it can only be a good thing.
Probably in most cases.
What's the one case?
Looking at the sun.
Well, but you wouldn't be improving your optics by looking at the sun, would you?
No, but you wouldn't want your optics improved if you were looking at the sun, because then you could just see more, and that's just going to do more damage. That was the logic I was going with. Didn't make much sense, but let's just go with it, Trav. Let's just act like it makes sense.
Round 10! We've got Venom Zera and Cold Zera ready to deliver once again, and it could be a lineup. Molotov actually will get the kill, and Cold gets 2 overall before he drops. Venom Zera, that's going to be a good nade, I think. Yes, it tags all 3 of them and almost takes half of Zot's HP away. That was a really solid hold there. Now, Noxy will probably try and battle his way through this. Right-click smoke. Maybe we'll aid an exit, but it's not deep enough, and David was very aware of that possibility. Red Canids will hit straight back, and should, in the matter of hopefully 30 seconds or so in their eyes, guarantee a tie on the half.
I genuinely think that Bestia have missed a trick here by trying to go to the B-bomb site for a 3rd round in a row. I think that they could have just tried to factor some conditioning in and maybe fake B and then go elsewhere, knowing that Red Canids would probably be quite quick on a rotate with the way these rounds have been going. I think it was probably one too many just trying to run it back in that B-bomb site. Not enough respect for Venom Zera and Cold Zera. And that is going to be Red Canids remaining in the lead here as they'll go up 6-4. Should be a formality.
There we go. Couple of AKs saved over, of course, on CT as well. Full util. Venom Zera's got the recovered molly over the incendiary. Always nice. And a tactical timeout for Bestia at the right time. They'll know that 6-6 might not even be enough, but they'll know they need it from here.
Problem is 8-4 looks very likely if they can't win this next gun round. So pressure again ramping up here for Bestia. It is their map pick. They won the first map comprehensively if you're just joining us. 13-5 on Nuke after an 11-1 CT side. Mirage, a very good map for Bestia as well. Red Canids are Mirage enjoyers, not to the same sort of extent. Seems increasingly likely we'll get to that third map.
I've got to say, by the way, a lot of people in chat knew the origin of Dodge City. So maybe we're both just uncultured. Maybe we're both just uncultured. Yeah, maybe. I'll give you a shout out. Todd Crow, I think he was the first guy to say it. Respect. Yep, something that I wasn't necessarily aware of. Our Red Cannon's going to be aware of this
This is what I was
push.
looking for, because now they're faking. See, they're now like, they're going to draw the rotations. In fact, after Luchov gets both those kills, they're just going to commit in towards the B-bomb side, which does make sense. But I do like the fact that there was a bit more depth to this round. Zoc's gone all the way. Probably a little bit too much space being taken by Zoc, which will cost him his life. Thomason's going to play the smoke fade here and come off second best. So even numbers game now on the retake. David, he's not going to wait for his teammates, I don't think. He's looking to just take some initiative here. Play by his own rules. That smoke will keep him at bay for now, though.
Oh, Luchov is in such a tough position behind the pillar. Not really much room to maneuver from there. Here's the resmoke from Davideus. Luchov not choosing to pounce when that nade is drawn, and it's going to work out for that kill. Now Henny is left all alone. Nython was one bullet from death from Naz, and Henny will be forced away. Money isn't amazing, so saving this up for the last round of the half actually does make somewhat sense. It's always frustrating to save in this sort of scenario when you've got a kit and everything, but it's the right choice. And as you rightly pointed out, playing contact, playing something a little bit more different, a little bit more wacky, as we see here, just as I was describing it, Luchov walking through that smoke, making it happen, will work out for Bestia.
It's where Luchov does his best work, where he's getting his hands dirty as well, in and amongst the thick of things. We saw it in that one round on Nuke, where he came through squeaky door, kind of weaves between players through smoke, gets a kill, get out of that position as well, keeps himself alive. He's so good at just navigating those tense situations. Bestia need a sixth in this first half, just to also deny all this momentum being carried over for Red Canids. Let's see if they can make it happen. A slightly weaker investment for the CT side as well. An MP9 and a 5.7 brought into the mix here.
Oh, Davideus knows it's a very common position to play. That's really smart. Naz is on the edge of the broken wall there in mid, and that's going to be painful too. The nade doesn't just bank off the wall, it banks into Noxy. Thankfully, they don't take huge amounts of damage to that, but it connects with him. Not just with the damage, but with the original throw. Yeah, that was great heads-up play there by Davideus. Once again, realising it's a common position, even when it's a smoke blocking it. And he has certainly been more like the player to watch we wanted to see.
Oh, yeah. He's making up for that Nuke performance and getting the job done on Anubis. He's getting 2 maps worth of... or 2 maps worth in this one here, in terms of his fragging output. Good opening kill. Bestia look like they maybe want to try and sell a little bit of a fake right now. They've got Thomason and Nocta with a whole lot of util being lined up and thrown into that A-bomb side. Red Canids do have some forward positions at A main right now, so I don't think they're going to be calling for the rotations just yet, but it does actually force Venom Zero to go peeking into Canals, and Cold's gone down as well, so the fake has worked a trick.
Venom Zero was moving forward, and Cold was too. And as soon as Venom Zero died, Cold wanted to hop away and play safe. But he was too late to do that because he got caught from main. And that has thrown a significant spanner into the works of this round for Red Canids. And that spanner should be ending this half right now. Luchov is low, but I don't see a way in which Red Canids can get back into this one. Henny with the kit's been taken down. It's now all Nython. He sees where one is, but the crossfire is going to be too strong once he tries to get past the angle. And there's Zoc getting the headshot. Lovely triple kill from Zoc and 2 from Noxy to keep us evens at half. Yo, it's 6-all. Bestia are still 1.5 away from making it through to the next round of the lower bracket, but Red Canids are looking to stop them and take us to a decider. And they definitely looked a lot more alive in map 2, especially Mr. Davideus. Second half pistol underway, double dualies for the Argentinians.
Yeah, let's see if Red Canids can continue to fight back here and force that third map in the series. Closing the gap in towards E-Box. Cold Zero just destroys Luchov, knocks the rattles off the shot with the Julies, but does not connect, at least not in a fatal fashion. Thomason does some chip damage as well. Red Canids have full control of the speed bomb site with the smokes in play right now. Kills continue to come through, and Red Canids are on the brink of regaining the lead.
Yeah, Naz and Zoc shouldn't have a say here. It might even be a conversation for Zoc to try and get out of this position and save the Kevlar. Naz can play for kills, he's got absolutely nothing to save whatsoever. Zoc will do that, but I think he's already on the path to being caught by Davideus. Actually, no armor means that he gets that kill. And every kill will help. With that Kevlar, I don't think they're going to go for something too ridiculous here, but I have seen teams go for forces, get the MP9s, get one on a FAMAS, 5.7s. Can be very common, but as we often have a conversation about it, it's not usually something we favour.
Yeah, it's very situational and sort of team dependent. I think if you're going to go for the force like they are, you have to have some sort of a plan in this round. You can't just play like your default setup and expect to go nuclear and everyone to win their gunfights and job done. Have some sort of direction, have some sort of intention coming into this round, whether it's a canals crunch or maybe a flash through the mid smoke, some sort of a play. Even if you just show presence one side of the map and then go back gamble stack the other side, and then if they don't come that side, you save your guns. I want to see something out of the ordinary, and it does look like they have a bit of a setup on the A-bomb site right now.
Yeah, when you have a round like this, right, it's when people just play stock solid positions where it can be a bit problematic. But if you have a plan and a lineup like this, then absolutely it could work out. They do get that one FAMAS. Actually, it's kind of exactly the buy I thought would come through. One FAMAS, 3 MP9s, and 1 5.7. I thought maybe one extra 5.7 for some extra util, but firepower it is. And we are actually now moving those 3 players away from that A main position to go aggressive in mid as a trio. And they only get one back though. Thankfully, Noxie, that's an amazing kill with the FAMAS on toward Henny. And Naz has managed to remove David as well, with Cold getting his kill but brought it down to 24. Sure, Noxie's also 11 from his heroics, but we're on as even.
Pretty good effort coming through from BESTIA right now. You don't mind sort of trading kills evenly when you've got the force buy. Nox is going to go back, I think, to collect another gun or some more utility. Actually just going to completely reposition here for the retake, trying to get the flank underway. 20 seconds on the clock. Naz has full health with his Galil. Can't do anything about the bomb plant. Noxa could be massive. Venom Zero is peering in this direction. No, a dink. Is that going to be enough to enable Naz? No, Venom Zero with the single point of health will collect both of the kills in the post plant as they do stave off the force buy.
Calming the madness there from Venom Zero. That was really important. And yes, I will nod my head at that. That will change the game now. That's the all-important round. They got a freebie to come here. And they'll go into their gun round 9-6 up. Probably feeling a lot happier about the situation they're in. Of course, a quick reminder, the third map decider in this series would be Mirage. And that's one that BESTIA have won 8 times in a row, including against Red Canids, one of those. So, it's probably their best map overall. But you can never count out Red Canids in any game. So, really curious to see what we'll get when and if we get there. Or if and when, I suppose.
I feel like Red Canids, I mean, I know that the numbers aren't great for them on Mirage, but they do certainly enjoy Mirage. They've won it the past 3 times they played it, including wins over MIBR and Imperial, so some decent sculpts. I think their numbers are just pretty rough because they had a shoddy run of form on the map, losing to a number of teams. I mean, Pain and Fluxo were actually the 2 teams they lost to the most on that map with that rough run. Don't expect anything to get out of control here in this round, so going to continue to just speak over it. Cold Zera is certainly Mirage enjoyer. We've seen some great... Okay, hold on. I need to just focus on the round. It's a 2v1. It's Henny left alone. He's going to get double peeked, able to find the first. He's running out of ammo, 6 bullets in the magazine. That should be enough to kill a USP. Surely down to 3. He's going to opt for the Glock instead. It does level out the playing field. He's got head armor, but he's had his bell rung. Still won't stop Henny from winning the clutch. Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay. Well, that round kind of explains itself for how ridiculous it gets. You want to get back to your point?
Well, I was just finishing off by saying that I think Red Canids will back themselves on Mirage. Even though BESTIA have been fantastic on the map, it should still be a very close clash between the two teams.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but that would have been a horrible one to lose if you were Red Canids. Henny does really well to stay calm there, especially when he was low ammo on the Galil, and then from 6 to 3. Ugh. Squeaky bum time. But they get over the line.
Outside of winning the round itself, that's a great result for BESTIA, getting 4 kills in their full eco. Means if they can win this next gun round here, 7-9, no money for the T's, 8-9. So there's a path, a very clear path back into this map here for BESTIA. Should they lose this gun round though, then you basically just wrap it up. So everything on the line right now. Plan going to be here from Red Canids? How do they look to pretty much put the final nail in the coffin? If it's this round here, I reckon the map's done.
I would agree. They've got everything they want, BESTIA, with that AWP in play. Oh, Noxy. Luchov being forced to jiggle. Of course, that is always awkward when it's a left eye jiggle. Minute to go. Red Canids have taken mid, and you all know how important mid is on this map. I say taken mid, they've not really taken past the doors yet, and that's why BESTIA are fighting for it. But that fight catch off now's here. He's walking into death. Thankfully, Noxy had rotated into camera to help out, so it recovers it into a 3v3 immediately. And even though Cold has advanced positioning in E-box after BESTIA has sort of moved around their defense to help with that A pressure, they're still staying mobile, rotating back in right now with Luchov alongside Noxy, and this rotation could beat spot on. 2 players ready and raring to go. He's a clean entry, you would think, when Canids to get into this site, because Noxy found the first. At least a dink by Luchov. But Cold has got that kill, and the bomb actually can go down because Noxy can't just jump through the smoke with the AWP. Well, I say that. He's going to try and jump through it with the AWP. There was no smoke in play. I think that was just pure aggression in the end. And Zok is now 1 versus 2. He knows when he's dinked from information earlier. Somehow one bullet won't connect on Cold Bow. Don't ask me how, and Cold will just hit the headshot. Oh, everything is going Red Canids' way now.
What a sick round coming through from Cold Zera there, man. I mean, he doesn't have much help to work with, but that doesn't stop him from just steamrolling BESTIA anyway. Maybe a bit of a rush of blood to the head there from Noxa with how he tries to force himself into the bomb site. Doesn't have his teammate close enough to really help him out either. I mean, I think it was a pretty good adjustment there from BESTIA in the middle of the round with the way that they just group up and fight for mid. Doesn't look great initially. They go down 5v3, but they get 2 kills back. You hit the nail on the head, though, that their setup was heavily disrupted, and it took them a while to actually figure out a setup afterwards. They did get it in play in time, though, with those 2 players on the B bomb site, but just can't hit the necessary shots. Double digits now for Red Canids, and they're just sailing off into the sunset, and, well, Mirage is the destination.
Huge, and anyone else but Cold always seems to have at least one really important round per game for Red Canids. Usually just sort of obviously back in his prime, we know how he played, we know what his style was, but these days he's usually just like a relatively cerebral player that will do his job. You know, he doesn't need to be the star anymore in this sort of team. He can bootle around and do what he's meant to do, but he does have that pop-off moment nearly, I would say once a BO3, where we see an important kill. Even if it's one important kill that changes around, he can deliver.
He's done really well to evolve himself as a player, as an individual, you know, contribute a completely different skill set from what he was in his height in 2016-17, best player in the world in both of those years. And now obviously plays a supportive role in the team. IGL brings heaps of experience, direction, structure, allows for players like David, like Henny to pop off and be the heavy hitters in the team. That's why Cole's been able to remain relevant, unlike most people who had their heyday, what, 8 years ago kind of thing, right? So
yeah,
it is very impressive.
To be fair, it is the two who were goated on that SK LG lineup, of course, right? That are still around to this day.
Fallen and Cold. Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously FNX, you know, tried his hand in Imperial. Fur can still do something, like, you know, I mean, I think I actually saw a quote from him that he played that show match at IEM Rio. He actually did quite well in the show match. He was like, oh, just playing in an arena again makes me want to play again professionally. But I think even though he knows in his heart of hearts he's probably done now, even though we knew how good he was back on that team. Anyway, this round's getting interesting here because the MP9's in play from Zoc. I'll stop waffling and talk about what's in front of me. Nox is missing lots of shots. There's 9 seconds on the clock. Bob's on the floor. This round's done. Or will it be? Thomason needs to run away. And he has. We're safe. Bestia have won an unlikely one.
Yeah, that's a massive reprieve, a huge let-off here. As Bestia just keep themselves in the contest. They get a 7th on the board. Red Cannon's going to be kicking themselves. I feel like they were just a little bit sporadic in that round. Just a lot of individual fights. Well, I suppose at the start of the round, just like individually spread out and then just get picked apart. Great read there from Bestia, having their numbers leaning in towards the A bomb sites as well. So once Red Cannons eventually do commit to a bomb site, they push into somewhat of a stack. So, they will call for a pause here just to make sure that they keep tabs on the situation. Will spend all their money coming into this next round, but the investment doesn't look great, mate.
Now, of course, this buy that Red Cannons have here is a byproduct of when Henny had to win that round against the Eco with the Glock when he was the only player alive. That's the economic damage it's done. They're now in a position where they could get back into this half. Of course, it was just one player alive at the end of that previous round, so Bestia's money isn't amazing either. It's one of those swing rounds we talk about. Could be 11-7, game over almost, or 10-8, looking likely to be 10-9.
Yeah, that's how things stand right now coming into this round. The table is set. And we're ready to feast. Bestia have also got 3 players over towards the speed bomb site, which is exactly where Red Cannons are headed right now. Nox will draw first blood with his Orb. Defadoos straight through the smoke though. Will actually shut the Orb down. Unfortunately though, his teammates haven't really been able to work with him and apply the pressure at the same time. So there's still kind of a moment where it's not like Bestia are feeling too much pressure. As soon as they do get that kill on David, then they restore full control, restore calm. Henny and Knife and locked out of the bomb site, and this round's fallen flat on its face.
Nice is stuck here. And so is Henny. Both kills coming through from Zoc nicely. Now then, we have a conversation for Bestia. Red Cannons have to full eco in this one. If they force it would be borderline idiotic. So we should get 10-9. Good hold. Good crossfire. Sure, maybe the Mach 10 creeping through on that timing was a little bit awkward and wasn't as they would have wanted. But that player on, of course, that jail position was the insurance policy. So then, Bestia, could they get this one done in 2? That would be something. It's felt like Red Cannons have had them.
Yeah.
It felt like Red Cannons have had them at arm's length the whole map.
Yeah, it does. That's why it would be kind of against the run of play if Bestia were able to finish off the job on Anubis, but it does kind of seem like there's some signs of improvements as the map is going on here. It's going to come down to that next gun round, right? At 10-9. If Red Cannons lose that gun round, then the pressure just, oh man, it ramps up exponentially at that point. Parabolic at that stage, if that is the eventuality we end up with. Well, we have seen kind of reluctant to call it an eco round that Bestia won because they had max round loss bonus behind them. So obviously some SMGs and Kevlar in the mix. This is as eco round as ecos get, Trav.
Yeah. It was a half buy they won.
There we go. That's true. Quasi buy.
Quasi buy. What does quasi mean in general?
I don't know what it means, but Semler was the one who termed a half buy as a quasi buy a long time ago.
long time ago.
Yeah, no idea what the reference actually is itself, but that's where it comes from at least.
Gotcha. 35 seconds. Red Canids just need to make sure they don't have one player die at a time or something ridiculous, and there we go. Should be all good. Look how far Venoms are actually managed to get his way through, but Luchov still reacts, and he actually gets 4 from that. That's really clean from Luchov.
I think Luchov is actually my favorite player on Bestia just because of the skill set that he has, that he possesses. He's someone who's always so happy to be on the front lines, just mega amounts of impact you get out of him. He's a very selfless player as well, someone who's very happy to be thrown in first, do the dirty work, the grunt work, but he's got an incredible mechanical level as well, so he generally gets a better return from those roles than most players do. It's just electric in the server. Look at this round though, mate. They're going into canals.
I mean, you've got one of the pre-incendiaries there towards rugs, which is a little bit rare, I feel like. This sort of stage of the game all round. Just want to stop them from being set up there early round, I suppose. It's one that's very known, that sort of nade, but doesn't really have much impact long term. But Zero was there, and they do have control of that position again.
Yeah, I mean, Red Canids do have to take some time to clear all these positions out, though, because of the early aggression that came through from the CTs. I'm a little bit skeptical of Bestia's approach after committing all of that utility to take that early control. They just then immediately depart, kind of giving that space back up. And we're going to have a huge fight break out in A-Mania. This is going to dictate the outcome of the round.
Oh, Thomason was amazing on map 1, but he needs a lot here, and he's going to look away at the wrong time and play anti at the wrong time. And then Zoc, of course, tries to peek off of his teammate's contact. It's just not going to happen. Naz is here, and Nithon does go searching toward heaven, maybe a little bit too aggressively, and there's another from Naz. And there is a rotation pretty quickly. Luchov's on the scene, and there's another quick 1-for-1. 2v2, bomb is down. Davideus is only 28 HP. This is a great little fight back from Bestia, and they're arguably somewhat favoured here. David got a really tough position to end because Henny's in the same area. They can just get swung on together, and there goes David. Is that all Henny? Do they know that he's in the corner? I think they are aware of that possibility. Now they know for sure. And Naz will get it with 4 health to spare. We're even at 10 apiece.
And that's off the back of a 5 versus 3 as well, by the way. That is hugely problematic for Red Canids, getting some sick opening kills there towards A main. I think Thomason... Yeah, I think it's by design that Red Canids go in dry there without the flashbang in case someone was playing anti, and it was the perfect read. But again, Red Canids just, they go searching, they go hunting too much, guys, too much. I know that the post plant isn't easy on the A-bomb side if you don't have, like, Heaven or cameras control, but you've got the 5v3. Map control is just so much less important at that point.
Yeah, indeed. That is... As soon as I saw Davideus on 28 HP, and I saw... Actually, you know what? I'm going to go back even further, actually. As soon as I saw Nithon charge through toward Heaven and die, not knowing the rotation was already there in that position, I had a feeling that one could have gotten out of hand, and it absolutely did.
And I didn't really agree with you when you said you felt like Bestia had the edge in the 2v2. I was like, I don't know about that, Trav, but you were actually, yeah, I could hear the concern in your voice immediately after they try and fight for Heaven and they die. And, well, your concerns were certainly well-founded. 10 all, and it's an eco for Bestia, for Red Canids, excuse me. A chance for Bestia to get the lead, and it'll be for the first time on the map since the pistol and conversion.
Watch Red Canids win this round, because it's actually one of these buys that can be really tough to get past. You've got to have your wits about you, and there's an opening missed shot. Thankfully, Luchov has got his one, but he's out of bullets, and Naz is still here. It looks okay. Oh, he's mollied himself. I think we're okay. All good.
I think so.
Everyone's in position, and you can now stop having kittens.
I mean, mate, the fact that Nocta gets 3 frags there is actually very impressive considering he misses the first shot. That round could have unraveled so quickly. It's now 11-10. Bestia are 2 rounds away from winning the series 2-0. Not much breathing room. Of course, there's just 3 rounds left to be played in regulation. But if Red Canids lose this next one, it could be game over. So much pressure on their shoulders right now.
This has really gotten out of hand. As I said to you a couple of rounds ago, I felt like Red Canids have had Bestia under control the entirety of this map, especially when they won that anti-force buy to go up, I think it was 8-6. That turned into 9-6 when Henny won that 1v1 on the low buy, against the low buy. And yeah, it's a surprising switch around. And Red Canids, of course, having had an appearance at Pro League last season, will want to get back there again. And if they lose this, they're out of contention.
I feel like Luchov has been one of the main catalysts for the comeback here for Bestia as well. Kind of just dragging them, kicking and screaming with some of his important multi-kills. There's been some big rounds from Thomason as well in this fight back. The game in the balance, teetering in Bestia's favor. And Red Canids recognize the magnitude of this round as they look to just take their time to set themselves up here. Edging their way forward, getting some control. Nathan in towards mid, couple players outside A main. Bestia not contesting mid at all. Be quite difficult to get a rotation across to A, and it's going to be necessary somewhere along the line here. They're going searching though. They're going to realize what's going on. Really well timed incendiary.
Yeah, 30 seconds as well. Especially in a 5v5. Nithon could be the key. Could be the key. Henny's down, tagged down to 3 HP though. There's a flank in play. Nithon has to get his kill and does. Naz is still here though. Now 17 seconds. Oh no, you're right. 14 seconds. Luchov has got them pinned in. Nithon's going to have to hit a banger, and you know what he has. Luchov is ready though. Oh, it's absolute madness on the A site right now. 6 seconds for the plant. Venom Zero is going to get it down. And somehow they actually have a 3v2 out of this. Luchov has got pillar control, and they know he's there, but with 2 players stuck on site, it's still very awkward. Nithon will go down, but it doesn't bait a teammate into the kill. And now Davideus, 12 HP. What's going on here? Tap on the bomb. What's going on? Luchov has rounded the site and got the kill to USP. It's Davideus, 12 HP. This nade could work. No, it's bouncing towards you, my friend. He's killed himself. And now Davideus might just win this round all by himself. Noxy has got that kit. He's not on the bomb. He still gets the kill. Has he got time for the defuse?
I don't think so.
It's going to be so close. He's got it. 12-10 on the board. I can't believe what I've just witnessed.
A disaster of the highest order there for Red Canids. How have they dropped the ball in that round? I thought at this moment here they still had it in the 3v2 once they get the bomb plant. Luchov is the hero. Again and again he does it here for his team. And he gets Bestia up to map and series point. It was so messy, but Luchov keeps his composure. Nocte holds his nerve after he taps the defuse. David actually, he panics, mate. He swings out, he sees the defuse isn't being stuck, but he doesn't actually believe his eyes. So he pushes out even further. He could have tucked back into heaven there, would have been round over.
Good God, that might be one of the most ridiculous rounds I've seen in a long time. The way it ended, the fact a team nade came through. I say a team nade, a self nade came through. When I saw it bank off that little ledge on the ceiling, I just knew what was about to happen. And,
And it didn't. It didn't, Trav. Bestia still won it. 12-10. How in God's name have they gotten themselves up to map and series point? 2 opportunities to close this one out. They've got bank as well, so it's going to have to be 2 gun rounds here for Red Canids to force this into overtime.
Oh, dearie me. Counter-strike.
And they're going to try to go back into A here once again. Nocta and Thomason in tow. There's 1 flashbang left remaining. A dink out of Thomason isn't going to get the kill. Nocta should be smoked out of position. He is. It's looking good for Red Canids here.
Yeah, how does Noxy get out of it this time? This is looking even harder. Doc has got in support, but there we go. As I said, Nithon was again being cheeky in this mid position. With that smoke in play already in camera, this time, Red Canids have the answer.
Important that both these remaining players stay alive because the finances on a few players doesn't look great. And Red Canids, well, that will restore some belief here. A pretty standard round coming through from them. And it works out perfectly to get themselves in 11th. We're going all the way here on Anubis. Overtime or bust for Red Canids. Sure, it's great that Red Canids were able to beat Bestia in the upper bracket, but this is the series where it really matters. No lives left remaining.
Yeah. Bestia will just know at that round that got them to 12-10 that was just an incredible lifeline and opportunity to get this one done here and now. And they'll want to take it. Red Canids, I'm you know, fair play to them for sticking to their guns and going for a similar strat in the next. It worked perfectly. They just fixed a few things, knowing what could be fixed. They found an opening that has worked for them. I mean, I very much doubt they'll try something similar again, but anyway. We're here at round 24. Do we have extra rounds, or is it game done?
Cold Zero's going to have to call this round from the sidelines. Venom Zero thought for a moment he might want to try and force that trade on Nocta, but decides against it wisely so. Window was closed shut. And so they're going to have to just go back in towards this B bomb site. Bestia aren't completely convinced it's going to be B though. They still have 2 players committed to A main. Plenty time left in this round for it to marinate as well. Nocta playing that smoke fade. Venom Zero on the opposite side. This is really brave from Nocta. He's going to have one shot. It's all about the swing from Nathan. He's going to walk into... It's actually Venom Zero, excuse me. And he's gotten both of the kills on the players aggressing through A main.
Oh no. Maybe we will have extra rounds. Bomber's not committed yet. And there's a resmoke, of course, front sight on A, which actually has meant that Red Cannon's not necessarily wanting to pounce on this yet with the bomb so far away. So it's not out of hand just yet for Bestia. Thomason is just going to put himself around the A site, stick there, and hope they go toward him. Again, Red Cannons are running the clock down low here. But if they go camera, Thomason should surely be overwhelmed. Surely be overwhelmed.
At least 2, which is a really tall order, and he won't even get 1. Overtime looms. Red Canids are on the brink of keeping themselves alive. Wiping the slate clean and running things back in OT. Oh man, was that aggression through A main necessary? That's what they're going to be asking themselves. Surely the door completely closed. Should be no way back into this retake here for Bestia.
Oh my god, that's an incredible nade on Nithon. There's actually a renade coming through, but it's not shut deep enough. And he won't go down to that. So much utility tries to actually force him into the open, but David's got that one kill. It's all Naz, and he's still full health here, but the bomb is planted so open. He's got 4 bullets in the M4. Good flash, and he will miss the shot, but now it has to be the 5-7, and it's just not going to happen. In regulation, at least, for Bestia. Great little rebuttal there from Red Canids after the madness of that round where they went down 12-10. To recover is very impressive.
Yeah, it makes it all that much more impressive, right? The fact that they were able to keep their nerve after going down 12-10, losing that 4 versus 2 out was a disaster. But that will now be in the distant memory. What a way for us to go into overtime. Venom Zero, that double kill was monumental. And Bestia are going to be kicking themselves. The pause before we do run it back here.
Deep breath after that.
Yes.
End
necessary.
Necessary for me. That was like, that's the loudest I've gotten in a while, I feel like, because it deserved it. And it's I say only. It's only is a bit of a rude word to say here, but it is only Changeling. I'm not sure I got that loud during IEM Rio, mate, but that was just an incredible round. And if I've woken up my mother, I'm sorry, I love you.
It was worth it, Trav. It was worth it for the moment. Should be getting back into the action soon enough here. You know what, it's not the end of the world for Bestia that we have actually ended up here in overtime, considering how they've been chasing the map throughout. I think if you had offered them overtime when they were down 10-6, they would have snapped your hand off. So you got to kind of look at it through that lens as well. Despite the fact they had 2 map and series points, there was a very realistic chance they were going to lose this map at one point. So I reckon like both teams could be kind of content that there's overtime. Red Canids would definitely be the happier of the two, but Bestia are still alive here on Anubis, and ultimately that's what they have to focus on.
Already. Henny. and they're going aggressive outside B. That's not going to work. I don't think, not on that timing with those flashes in that moment. I felt like Dawid had such a good angle for it. At least he's traded. At least he's traded. He's snuck into an E-box as well. Means that Cold can't really make his way through. Has might actually choose to spam this. I think he knows it could be in that cubby. Oh, never mind, he's walking through. This is going to be awkward now. They're hugging, they're embracing, or some kind of a hug at least. Anyway, Cole, you should realise at some point. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, okay. A little bit ahead of the gun, Cole, but that's okay. The gun in the side of Naz's head there makes for an easy kill. And they haven't immediately taken the space into the B bomb site. Both Thomason and Zoc going to be coming through from A Mania. They have to kill Venom Zero instantly, and then maybe they can drop the bomb carrier. No, not going to happen. Henny gets the trade, and Red Canids have gotten the lead here once again.
A sweet embrace there between two competitors. Yeah, and Cold, obviously, was always going to get that one, I think. And Red Canids always felt like they had control of that round.
Feels like they've been in complete control in these past 3 rounds. Hasn't even really been any moments where it's gotten too scary. Find another opening frag courtesy of their AWP. Again in towards middle here from Henny. Both rounds in OT, that's been the opening.
Obviously, Molly won't touch him, so he's actually going to stick around in mid, and even though he takes one tag to that, he'll fall away with the kill on his counterpart leader. Naz. Oh, he makes one step and they'll see the trajectory of those nades. Will they decide to push through that smoke when they know there's a player in the open throwing that utility? They're not going to just yet. Felt like they wanted to for a split second, but now Cole's been tagged down to 10.
Oh,
Luchov, all timing. He gets his one. At least he gets his one with Cold low. This round is still doable for Bestia, but it's a 3v3 retake. Zoc's quick flank could work.
Do they consider this is the question? You got Cold Zero controlling canals and then 2 players on the bomb site itself. There's a flash, there's some utility here for the T side. Big missed shot from Henny, but Zoc isn't able to get anything done from his position. David goes searching, and he's found both the kills here in the post plant to lock the round in. 14-12. Red Canids marching on towards Mirage here in overtime. 2 rounds away from getting the job done.
Oh, mate. I just had a feeling. We didn't get the Hayes rule come into play of Bestia winning the first round of OT. Yeah, it would have been
true.
If Bestia won the first round of OT, it would have been it coming into play again. But
first time it's ever failed.
To be honest, it feels like it. It feels like it genuinely. In Rio, a couple of times, they even name checked you. One of the times it happened, just every single time.
Let's go. Love that.
It seems to happen, but Red Canids have kept the streak going from 12-10 down. And huge props to them when they could have just mentally lost it. And obviously there's a good chance we could have an interview at the end of this series. If Red Canids win, a conversation about that round would be very fascinating, I feel like. If either team win, actually, to be fair.
Change of pace here. This time Red Canids again going in towards middle, searching for the opening frag, but they move with a lot more aggression in towards middle. Nocta posted on the angle though. And there will be a step coming through, nearly a collateral. Nox's done very well with his AWP. He's been a bit of a shining light here for Bestia, who have to win this round. There's no 2 ways about it. Can't allow for Red Canids to go flawless in this first half of OT. No siree.
Oh, Venom Zoro's made noise dropping down from carpets, so will be known about to Zoc. He will actually make his way back up again, so somewhat a ruse in a way. Naz has cleared out B main. That's a lot of intel. A lot of intel. And even though Red Canids have mid, which is the most important thing, of course, on this map, to either split one side or the other, pardon me, it's You have to do it in a 4v5. Those flashes keep catching Davideus too.
Right, well, now starts to pressure the safe bomb site through cameras. Thomason's going to backpedal into A main here, join up with Zoc. Not really ideal at all for the CT side right now with the positions that they've been forced into, but they do still have the numbers here to work with as they look to try and get themselves back in towards the safe bomb site. Really good combination there. And they will get a round back. Much needed round here in the first half of OT.
Keeps them in the conversation, at least. Red Canids 2 away from taking us to a third. A clean sweep would have gone a long way to help out with that, but as you can see, Bestia just was swarming all over them at the end. Nothing you could do about that one.
Does mean that Bestia still have a lot of pressure on them coming into this T side. I mean, it was an okay T side in regulation, right? 6-all if memory serves. So that maths means that Red Canids should be able to get the job done from here. Let's see if they can seal the deal. Bestia are a very difficult team to put away. Never give up. And we saw them revert back to the strat a lot in regulation. Just brute force into the B-bomb site. Henny's here with the Orso. First frag is free. Might not be enough though.
Oh.
And oh, that's a great return out of Zoc.
That is clean. Gives them a plant as well. Little banked flash from Thomason will force them back towards CT. And actually, that banked flash maybe force Cold into the Molotov a bit more. Who knows? Hard to see from that angle, but fire does catch Cold when it felt like it probably shouldn't have. So that's a triple from Thomason. Don't forget he was unbelievable on that one. He's a little bit quieter here, but in overtime he's found his quad kill to go from 12 to 19 to 16 to 19.
Okay, well, Anubis still alive and well here. Despite the fact that Red Can has got the first pick. That didn't dissuade or stop Bestia from continuing to commit to their plan, and it worked out in the end. This one is for map points. If it's Bestia, it would be series points. So much on the line right now between these two teams, fighting tooth and nail. What a contrast between the two maps that we've had played in the series as well. 13-5 couldn't have been more one-sided for Bestia.
Yeah.
On Anubis, though, it's the complete opposite, as close as it gets.
Python realizes what's going on outside A main, but does just go swinging, I think pretty dry as well, and that is not necessarily advisable. And look at Zoc. It's the Nython play we saw in regulation, making his way through mid, flanking from camera. It's a beautiful headshot on Davideus. Now Thomason has control. Bomb plant can go down, even though Zoc will get dropped. Red Canids are in a situation with Henny on the AWP right now in overtime where they actually might need to save it, because they've only got one kit on Venom Zera. He's got $200 in the bank, has Henny. It's very awkward. They obviously had no success on this CT half. I feel like it's the obvious call.
It feels like it's an option where you kind of just post on the angle. You wait to see if someone comes searching from Bestia. If you get a kill, that can ignite the retake. If not, you do commit to the save, and it's going to be the latter. Bestia get themselves up to map and series point here once again, Trav. Looking reinvigorated on this T side. Winning both the rounds we've had here in the second half. Oh, Red Canids, they're going to have to do it again, as was the case in regulation. They're going to need to force OT here. A second set of overtime is required. Game on.
Crazy, isn't it? Crazy. What was it? 12-10 Bestia to 14-12 Red Canids, and now 15-14 Bestia.
They were down 6-10, and then they won that half by. Then they go up 12-10, so they won 6 in a row, actually. Didn't even catch that in the moment. And now 15-14. I mean, Bestia look really well oiled on this T side. You can see there's an incredibly deep playbook. It's not like they're figuring out things on the fly. And now they have an opportunity here to finish off the job. Is there a case to be made where they may be looking to bully Nython here a little bit? Because Nython has looked a bit rough around the edges in the past few of these rounds.
Oh, Nithon, he's getting caught on timing again here. Maybe that right-click smoke has saved him. Who knows? But Naz again is doing work. Henny has to no-scope his way out, but there's no way you expect a second. Zocker's found it. And Red Canids are on the brink of elimination from ECL playoffs this season. No Pro League. If they lose this 2v4, you would think BESTIA have this on the lock and key. There goes Cold. Venom's Era can't hit a transfer. And BESTIA have done it. What an incredible map that was. Especially that moment to get them to 12-10. And they will go through to play MIBR in that lower bracket final for a spot at ESL Pro League in 2025.
And it's completely deserved as well. My god, I mean, BESTIA won the series. It's not like Red Canids lost it, if that makes sense. BESTIA fully deserved the victory.